Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo, and I'm coming to you today with a couple of really quick and easy projects that would suit Valentine's Day, but it would also suit different themes for junk journals. But of course I'm sticking with the lovey-dovey theme because of course February is the month of love for a lot of us. So I am doing a little bit of playing with the wax seals that I've been making with my kit from Craspire. There is a discount code down below if you'd like to check out the products that I've used. So I've had a bit of practice since the last foray into wax seals, and I think I am getting a little bit better at it. But you do not need wax seals for any of these projects today. I just wanted to use wax seals to fancy them up a bit, and it really goes with the theme of the journal that I'm currently working on. So what are we doing? We are going to be making some faux Regency letters. Kind of Jane Austen style, but with a kind of a modern twist, I guess. So here's what it is. So this wax seal is not completely on there. It is just glued on, so it is faux. And we can simply open this out and look at all this fantastic writing space that you've got. Isn't that brilliant? And of course, if you wanted to use it as a letter, you know, send some happy mail in it, do whatever you like, then you absolutely could. But essentially, it's an envelope and a letter in one, and they're really fun to make, really easy. We're going to give a go some of these. So these are the two that I've done as practices. Now, before we go further, I just want to mention I am using some parchment paper. So it comes from Hobbycraft here in the UK. This is the one that I got, just in case anyone wants to know, just because I wanted to give it that more sort of Regency kind of a feel. And I love textures in my journals, so it's this really nice posh posh kind of a texture, but the paper was not expensive. So, you know, I think I got 40 sheets for something like a £5 or something, which, you know, but you could do this with copy paper. You could do it with any paper you like, any size paper. You don't have to start with a size like this. You get, this is an A4 sheet of paper, and this is the sort of size that you'll get, kind of a thing. But, you know, you could start with smaller, larger, and just go up from there, work around it as you like. But here's what to be doing. So we've got our paper landscape, and we're just going to fold it over, not fold, but just pinch, just like that, which essentially is giving you a marker for where the middle point is of the paper. So as you can see, I've not folded it or creased it, we've just got a little bit of a pinch. We're going to fold one side over into the middle. Doesn't have to be exact, roughly the middle, but just, you know, using that pinch marker as a guide. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, again, doesn't have to be exact, just try to meet up your points as best you can, but does not have to be exact at all. Now we're going to fold over the flap of the top of the envelope. Now, depending on how you want your letter to look when you're done, is how much you want to fold the flap over. So as you can see with this one, I folded over about 1 inch, and on this one, I folded over about 2 inches to give this larger flap so that the wax seal was sort of more in the middle, which I personally prefer the look of. So I'm going to do one like that, but as I say, this top bit, fold it over as much as you like. Okay, so I'm going to fold it over about this much. So as I say, it's about 2 inches or so. Okay, and then this bottom piece just here, we want to curve this in to this little space just at the top there that you can see. So we're just going to tuck that in. Just like so, and go in as much as you like based on how big you want the letter to be. So if I go to about here, that size personally works for me. Crease that down, and there you go. How easy is that? You have your letter, and of course you can open it out all the way for all of this journaling space. Of course, you could use these to send love letters to your other half, use them for happy mail, do what you like with them really. Now you can of course ink all of the edges if you want to, if you want to give it a distressed kind of a look, or you can just leave them with your paper, like so. Now, if you do want to add a wax seal, you could do, stamp your wax seal straight onto the page. But if you want them to be sort of faux, as in you're not breaking a seal to open it, then we're just going to glue our wax seal straight on. So I'm using Beacon 3-in-1 glue to do so, but lots of glues probably would work. Art glitter glue might work. Just try out what works for you, but it does need to be a strong glue because it's got, this funny surface. You can also get stickers for the backs of these in case you've got anything like that or you want to buy something. But I'm just going to use my bog standard Beacon 3-in-1. It's like Fabri-Tac, but it's very strong. Okay, so I want to glue just the top half because I only want to glue it onto this top flap here. I don't want to get any glue on the bottom because otherwise that will make opening the letter difficult. So we're just going to remove the hair from my glue and we're going to glue the top. My glue is gonna take a little while to come out. There we go. So yeah, just the top piece, and find roughly your middle, and then just double check that you are only gluing it onto the top flap. You don't want to glue the bottom of it. And you might need to hold it down for a little bit, just put a little bit of pressure on it. Obviously just check that you haven't got any glue seepage anywhere. And just like that, you have your wax seal attached. Mine needs to dry a little bit longer, but just to show you, it doesn't get in the way of you opening up your letter. And then you've got all of this space. And of course you could absolutely, you could tuck something in this spot just in the middle, just here. So if you wanted somebody to open it up to find like a postcard or a piece of ephemera or maybe some stickers, anything else, an extra, then you can put stuff in there, and then obviously when you fold it up, it's all kept nicely inside. So it's all sealed in this part, just in there in the back here. So nothing's gonna fall out or anything, which is awesome. How fun is that idea? Now there are lots of different ways that you could fold these. This personally is my favourite way because it's easy, it's quick, she says. And I like that the letter becomes an envelope, all at the same time. But I do need to let my wax seal just dry a little bit. But as you can see, I did these ones yesterday, and that is fully on there. It's not coming off, it's not budging. So, aren't they so fun? I just love that. And so what I'm going to do with some of mine, some of them are going to be for my husband, for me to write love letters to him for Valentine's Day. So we've got something that we can keep and treasure between the two of us. But I'm actually going to tuck a couple of these into my Winter Rose journal, which is this one right here. Because this one's got kind of a wedding, romantic, Valentine's type of a theme. And so I think these would just look just perfect, tucked into a couple of pockets. And I may add some additional ephemera inside for somebody to find. So that is as simple as it gets. I will do one more on camera, just so that you can really get the hold of these folds. But as I say, it's so simple. All right, so once again, we've got our paper landscape. Any size paper will do. You just want to pinch where that middle point is. Okay. Fold over one end towards that point. Doesn't have to be exact. Don't worry about it. Do the same on the other side. And then fold over the top as much as you want your flap of your envelope to be. As I say, I really like it when the wax seal is nicely in the middle. So I'm going to fold over about 2 inches. Doesn't have to be exact, just rough. Go by eye. And then this piece, we're going to fold it over into our little flap. Hopefully you can see that okay. And you're just going to have to manoeuvre it in a little bit. Once you're happy, fold over. Now, if you want to make these even flatter for your journals, of course, you can go around bone foldering the whole lot. I personally prefer this slightly puffy look because I think it's just more authentic to the Regency type of a period. And there we go, we're going to add our wax seal. So I will just glue this one whilst I'm here, why not, because I will be using these myself. So again, just a bit of glue on the very top of the seal. And just glue it onto the top flap, not getting glue on this bottom piece. I know I probably sound like a broken record, but it's just, you know, when you're teaching something like this, you want to make sure that you're being very clear with your instructions. But they're so easy. I mean, you can make a whole batch of these really quickly. And of course, you know, you don't have to use pre-made wax seals. You don't have to use wax seals at all. You could use stickers. You could leave it as that. You don't even have to have anything on there. You could put some lace. You could just have it as is. You could do more with the style of the envelope as well. So the reason that I like them with the wax seals in the middle is just that I feel like they look more finished than, for example, this was my first one. Because it's got a shorter flap, there's all this space at the bottom here, which I kind of feel like is a bit blank. Like I kind of want to do something with it. So I could do stuff. I could collage on here, I could stencil, I could add stickers, I could add some lace, I could do all kinds of different things. But these three, with the larger flap, I just feel like the wax seal is that sort of central focal point, and so therefore I don't feel like I need to do more to it. But with this one, I do feel like I need to do a little bit of collaging. There you go. That is a really simple project, and they're just going to look so fun tucked away in some envelopes. So I'm just going to leave these off to one side to dry, and that is not all you're getting from me today. I do want to do some other bits and pieces, because so that was a folding paper into a Regency, a faux Regency style of a letter. As I say, you don't need to use the parchment paper. You could use copy paper, you could use kit paper, scrapbook paper if it's thin enough, you don't want anything too thick. Any paper you like. I just went with parchment because I felt like it was a bit more authentic for this sort of a project, I suppose. But it was only because I had it in my stash. I wouldn't have gone out and bought anything specific, to be honest with you. I'm just gonna pop those there so that they dry nice and neatly. I feel like I'm talking really fast today. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to show you these things that I've been playing around with. And, you know, I don't like intricate origami, but I do like folding up paper and folding envelopes and finding new ways to do things and just, yeah, trying things out really. As I say, with the Regency letters, there are several ways to do that. That's just my favourite way because I just think it's really simple, really easy to remember, and looks really effective. What are we doing next? There is another project, and this one is just as easy, just as effective, and just as useful. So, I am trying out a new style of a pocket using an envelope. Now, I've got this one that was already in my stash, so I am going to use this one for my final project, but I am going to do this technique with a white envelope just so that you can see exactly what I'm doing, because I appreciate this is probably not picking up very well on camera, but I'll just show you what my idea is. So I started with this envelope. Now this, I believe, is a C6 envelope, as we call it here in the UK. It's sort of a greeting card kind of a size. You know those little greeting card packs that you get for card making? It would just be an envelope from that, you know, back from my old days, I suppose. But of course you could use any size envelope, just as long as that you're bearing in mind when you're folding it up, you want it width-wise and height-wise to obviously fit the journal that you're working on. So you start with your envelope like so, and we want to open up, this is the flap that would already be open, so leave that unglued. And then this flap is the bottom of the envelope, which would be automatically stuck down the whole way. And you just basically want to open up the top of it. Don't go the whole way, you don't need to. Just open up the top. And when you fold up the bottom of the envelope, what you're going to have, when we glue these flaps down, is you're going to have a pocket in the front, just here. small pocket there. Let me get something to show you. You're going to have a pocket here. You're going to have an even larger pocket, wider pocket in the flap there. You could stick the whole thing down and have that be a pocket in your journal. So this is my example. This is the one that I'm going to use for my journal. But I'm not quite ready to do this one yet because I need to cut it down widthwise to fit my journal because it's a little bit too wide for what I want to do. But I do want to attach this this pretty lace and fluffy piece that I made the other day. And I'm going to have a wax seal in there. So when I'm ready to cut it down, we will do this together, but I just want to show you the idea. But obviously I'm going to work with a white envelope just so that you can see exactly what it is. If you're wondering how I got this effect on the envelope, it was really, really easy to do. Basically, I think back when I was working on some Christmas projects, I had some gold acrylic paint left over from my project where I squeezed a bit too much out onto some paper. Some of you might have seen me do that. And then I just grabbed an envelope and just sponged, literally using a sponge, I sponged the acrylic paint all over the envelope front and back. Not really, to be honest, knowing what I was going to do with it, but I didn't want to waste the paint. So then we got this, we started with this sort of gold, sparkly, metallic kind of a shiny kind of a look. Because the paint didn't go the whole way across, I then also, I put some pink distressing. So this is a Victorian velvet shade from Tim Holtz. I put that on a piece of greaseproof paper. I spritzed it with some water and then just dabbed around the edge. You've seen me do this probably a few times in the past where I've done it with like altered CD sleeves. I will link the video so you can see exactly how I did it. And then I just stamped randomly with a flourish kind of a stamp. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and then I just started playing around with it for this project, folding it up into this kind of a shape. And in my opinion, this kind of looked almost like a shirt dress, a tuxedo. So I'm calling it the tuxedo envelope pocket. I'm sure people have done this before. I'm sure it's nothing new, but it's just me. I was just prattling around with the envelope. So that's my idea. So if I show you with this this envelope here, just in case any of that wasn't clear at all. As I say, the gold acrylic paint and the inking I have done on video in the past, so I don't think I need to show you that. Okay, so you start with your envelope. This flap should be already open. If it's not, open it up. And then we want to open up the top of that bottom. Now the way that I did it with that one is I just went through with a bone folder, or I used a bit of card. This is just a business card that we don't use anymore. And I basically just tucked that in there and just started trying to work away the glue. Quite gently, because I don't want to rip the flap because you're going to be able to see that. Equally, if you, I'm pretty sure if you were to tea dye these envelopes, probably the process of tea dyeing, you know, adding the water and stuff, would loosen the glue. So you'll probably find it easier if you did something like that. So I'm just going to work my way through. Of course, if you've got a craft knife or something, you could use that. I'm just trying to use stuff that I'm sure most of us have. And be careful not to go through to the back, because although that bit will be stuck down if you're sticking down your pocket, you don't want to weaken the whole envelope. So just take your time with it. As you can see, this part of the process, it's not fast, but we're going through and we're being gentle, and eventually you'll reach the end. Okay, there we are. So we might need to tidy this up a bit. You could even put some washi down on there just to, basically you don't want any friction there for putting stuff in and out of the pocket. So you may need to stick some washi down. On this one, I didn't have that issue quite as much because the paper was already wet. So, or it had been wet in the past, and so therefore the glue wasn't as strong. But obviously this is envelope, this is straight from a card making kit. So that's just to show you how that will look. more than welcome to add some washi there. Okay, so now you can see we have these two bits open, so you can already see the pocket taking shape. I was going to ink the edges so you could see exactly what I'm doing, so I will do that just in case it's not picking it up on camera. Let's just do that for you, and then that way I definitely know. You can definitely see. Can you see? Okay. All right, and then we're just going to fold up the bottom, and now I've folded it up to the point to make it look like a tuxedo, in my opinion. I'm calling it that name because that's just what it looks like to me. So I'm going to fold that down. Now, if your envelope is particularly thick, this is quite a good quality one, so I'm just going to bone folder that down so it's nice and flat. I'm just going to go around all of my edges. Oops. There you go. Oops, sorry, that was very loud. And I'm just going to ink that edge so you can see exactly what I mean. There you are, simple. So now we can just go ahead and glue the two sides. So you only need to glue the two sides of this little flap. If I haven't already said, I hope you're all doing well. Sorry if I dove straight into the tutorial without much chatter, but it's just because I was very excited to show you these things. I always love, you know, finding new ways of doing things and trying out ideas and stuff like that. That's just me, as per usual, getting glue on my desk. Just checking I haven't got any glue seepage. Just hold that down as much as you need to. And there you go. How cute is that? Can you see what I mean about the tuxedo? I mean, I don't know if it's, I'm not sure what angle to show you, but when you look at it from like this, it really does look like a kind of a shirt or something. Now, originally my plan was if you were to put a wax seal in the middle, you could end up with, if you were to glue it just on this bottom edge, you could have a pocket in the back there, and then you could have two smaller pockets either side. So if I use my bone folder, hang on, 2 secs, that's not thin enough, let's try this one. So you've got a pocket here and here, as well as in the back. Have the whole thing be a pocket, it's completely up to you. But for my main one, I've decided to have this bigger pocket on the bottom. So it's fun really, when you start looking into these things, of just how, you know, how many different ways that you can take it. And I might want to add a little bit of glue just in between those two flaps, if I show you. Can you see that sort of opens a bit? One flap, second flap. So I'm just going to add a spot of glue just in there. Now, being very careful not to have it go over the actual, into the actual pocket part. So let me just slip something in so that doesn't happen. And then we can do that down. Awesome. So yeah, that's all glued down there now. Just getting rid of any excess glue because we don't want that. But yeah, that is my, I'm calling it the tuxedo pocket, tuxedo envelope pocket. As I say, I'm sure it's been done, but it's new to me. I've personally not seen it, but I'm you know, I'm fairly new to this stuff anyway myself. And then of course then, I mean, you're free to decorate this how you like. I mean, you could use really pretty envelopes to give you pattern paper. You could really do anything to this. You could stamp all over it. You could do what I've done there with some inks and stamping to give you a nice kind of a base. You could stick some paper in here to cover the back before you stick in your ephemera, pop in your ephemera. You could put some napkin, do some collaging. I mean, this is a blank canvas, isn't it, for you to do whatever you like. Now, in my case, obviously, as I said, I've done the inking and the painting and the stamping. Now I do want to cut this down to size, so I think this envelope was actually a bit wider than the smaller envelopes, but it was just what I had in my stash really. So I'm just going to see if I can find a page for it to live on, because I don't want to take off too much from it for obvious reasons. I don't want to make the pocket weak. So I'm thinking if I were to take off about 1/2 centimetre on each edge, because we want these V's to be still symmetrical to give you that tuxedo kind of a shape. So I'm just going to do that 1 second, because I can't really bring my guillotine in onto the table because it's a bit big, but I'll just be 2 seconds. Alright, I'm back. So I've cut down my envelope to size. Now I've tried as best as I could, it's not exact, but as best I could, I tried to cut evenly on each side so that my V is still kind of in the middle. As I say, it's not exact, but I don't want to cut it down even more because that is the right size for my page. So of course, when you do this, what you will find is that you'll dislodge this and you'll dislodge this. But all we have to do is just glue down the sides. So I'll just show you. And this is just in case you do need to change the size of your envelopes. So as best we can, my shaky hands, do a line along there. So I'm going to do that one first. So keep to the edge. You can always ink it if things are slightly dislodged or anything. So that's that one. And then of course we need to glue this flap back on. So just run the glue from here all the way along the edge. There we go. I have to squeeze very hard with that glue today. Okay, and then just position it back in place, like so. Now you're not going to see this bit, so I'm okay that it's slightly not in the place it's supposed to be, because what's more important to me is that this piece at the top looks good, because that's obviously what you do see. And then just for safekeeping, I am going to glue this piece just here, so that that doesn't get in the way of any of our pockets. As I say, this is very, very new to me, this folding up envelopes like this. So I am still, I suppose, working out the idea really, aren't I? I'm wondering I could probably just get rid of this piece so that it's not in the way. Let's do that. It's just where I've had to cut the envelope. If you were keeping your envelope as is, you wouldn't need to do that. It wouldn't be necessary. As I say, on this one, it's absolutely completely fine. You just have this nice big pocket in there. But you know, you're free to take this idea and make it your own. So we're just going to glue those two sides to give us the pocket in the front. Just want to try and keep it as straight to that edge as I can. Don't really want to do any more cutting because that would obviously cut into the pocket again. That probably just needs a little bit of a time to grab because the tacky glue is not instant. Okay, so that's that. So if I show you again, just remind you where the pockets are. So we've got this nice big one here, plenty of ephemera to go in there. Got this front one, and then the whole thing can be stuck down as a pocket. Now there might be ways to open up the top of the envelope to have a pocket, like, you know, in there, a fourth one, but no ideas are springing into my mind. So if you've got any ideas on that, please do comment below, let me know. I personally can't think of any right now. Now, of course, you're welcome to decorate this up however you like. Now, for me, I'm done with the tacky glue, so I'm just going to put that away. Now for me, I made these are originally going to be page edges, but I made a few because I was just trying to use up some laces and things that I had on my desk. And I made some shorter ones, and I remember saying in the video that I quite liked having this on the actual envelope. Now, as I say, you could do whatever you like. This is just a base. I mean, you know, there's the white one. You could collage it, ink it, stamp it, sticker it, all sorts. I want to use some wax seals just because it's going very much with the theme of what I'm doing. And of course, this is a project for, you know, for working with my wax seal stuff. So my original idea was I was going to have a wax seal in the middle, which I do like. It kind of, yeah, it sort of becomes that sort of, much like the letters, the wax seal becomes your focal point. But when I made these pretty lace thingies, I quite liked having that just like that. So I think that's what I'm personally going to go with, but you could do whatever you like. Of course, I haven't inked anything, so I might want to do that, but I can do that off camera. I'll just have to sort of get in there with the ink. But because I was just trying to be quick to show you how to do the Tuxedo envelope pocket, remember that name. I'm going to trademark it, just kidding. Yeah, I just wanted to be quick rather than sit there inking a load of stuff. So I'm going to keep it really simple and find my scissors. I'm just going to cut off the two ends of this. And these were really easy to do. As I said, I did do them on video, although it would be helpful if I could cut straight. I think I need to sharpen my fabric scissors actually. They're a little bit blunt. Probably myself or my husband would probably use them for paper at some point, I wouldn't be surprised. And then on this one, so I've got this sort of edge, can you see that just running down there? And although that would look fine on the side of something or on the bottom of something, because it's going to go in the middle, I am just going to cut that off. But I don't want to cut any of my fluff, so bear with me as I just come in here and just go along here. Oops. Hopefully this video hasn't been too long. Feel free to fast forward me. But whilst I'm here, I just want to say thanks so much for joining me. I'm sorry if these videos, you know, it has been a little bit like, I'm still learning these techniques, and half the time it's just I've been playing around, folding stuff to fit what I need and such like. And if I stumble across something that I just think looks really cool, I just want to immediately like show you. And yeah, I don't know if that's a good trait or not, but so there we go. I think that just makes it look a bit more decorative then, not so much like not so boxy, I think is how I'm feeling about it. Now I've only used my glue literally minutes ago and it's already getting a bunch of glue balls on the top, so just excuse me whilst I sort my glue out. The usual story. Alright, and then I think I'm just going to run the glue across the middle just here. Not too much, I don't want it to seep out everywhere, but just enough that it catches my lace snippet thing. Go that way. Doesn't that look so pretty? And so simple, like, I hope I didn't make the folding the envelope look complicated, because it's really not. It's really not. It just takes a little bit of trial and error as to what you can cut and where and what that affects flaps wise, I think. Got tissue. Just got a little bit of excess glue. There we go. I'm doing the usual. I have not got my mat out. There we are. Very pretty, very simple. And then I'm just going to glue my wax seal into the middle. But you don't, as I say, this is not a project that you have to have wax seals. It's just personally what I'm using. But you could add die cuts to these. You could stitch charms on like I did in the video the other day. That would look really pretty on here. Basically, you just want something that's going to act as your focal point. Equally, you do not have to decorate them up in this way at all. These pockets, you could do whatever you like. As I said, there's so many different things. It's just a blank canvas for you to decorate up. And of course, you could use them for any kind of journal, because it's just a case of you're working with an envelope and you know, decorating them up as you need to and to suit you really. Now that is going to take a little bit of time to grab, so I'm just going to do my best just to press down on it whilst closing up my glue. We don't want an eruption. Okay, I think we're good. Oops, apart from my gluey fingers. I've got a little bit of glue seepage, so I just want to grab that. And yeah, that just needs a little bit longer to grab. But they will, as I say, you know, the beacon does work on the wax seals perfectly fine. Just takes a little bit of time to dry. So as a reminder, we've got big pocket here, smaller pocket in the front, and then the whole thing can be a pocket. And I'm really happy with that. And considering this envelope literally started as I was just using up excess paint that I had squirted out. I'm sure some of you will remember me doing that, because I remember I was just splodging paint and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just saying, I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing, and I was just stamping willy-nilly. Yeah, it was probably quite funny, and I'm sure most of you at the time were thinking, what on earth is she going to do with that? Well, here we go. This is what I did. This is what it became. So if I find my sheet again, there we go. Try not to stick my journal in anything. So it just fits in there. Obviously I can't stick it down until I've actually bound the journal in, because I want to make sure it, you know, don't want it to go in the wrong place or anything. But cute, right? Really fancy. And I hope you see Tuxedo and it's not just me. You know, I hope that's not just me who sees Tuxedo with this kind of a, I don't know, this kind of a shape. Hopefully you do as well. Anyway, I will leave it there because I have rabbled on long enough. But I hope that that was helpful, both for the letters and the envelopes. So where have I done with them? Oh, here they are. They're right in front of me. So here is what we've made in quite a short space of time. Well, I've made 2 of these on camera. I fancied that one up, and then of course I showed you this actually doing the tuxedo pocket. So I would love to know, are you going to give any of these things a go? Please do tell me. If you've got any ideas for adding a 4th pocket to this envelope, do also comment below, because I am always interested in hearing more about you know, how we can get useful ephemera in our journals and useful pockets. I mean, who doesn't who doesn't need pockets? So yeah, if you've got any ideas on that, do let me know. I will keep having a play. I just wanted to get on and show you that because I do want to get on and use this envelope in my journal. Excuse me. And yeah, thanks so much as always for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry if I was talking a dime a dozen. I am in a enthusiastic mood. The sun is shining and I was very, very excited to show these to you. All right, I will leave you there. Thanks so much for joining me as always, and I will see you on the next video.